Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Musard Yusuf Ali. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I really love the work of Daniel Siegel and Tina Bryson. They are experts in writing about parenting for kids and young adolescents. And Daniel Siegel is he writes a lot about the brain, the mind side, and he has a certain theme that I really like. And so I had found myself in a little bit of a funk where I was doing strategies that were not working with my kid. And basically what had happened is I had read his first book, which is The Whole Brain Child and Brainstorm. And, I had gotten into a lull and was finding myself really disciplining in ways that weren't working. And so we all get into that. It's okay. What's really, really important for us to realize when we're in it and to do something different, right? So what is smart? Smart is when you realize that you are doing something that's ineffective and you look for ways and strategies to do it differently, find an effective strategy. Now, I had his No Drama Discipline book, but I hadn't had a chance to read it, or if I had read it, I had just forgotten it. And I decided to challenge myself before the end of the year to finish it and read it and to start implementing it. And oh my goodness, it was such a wonderful experience for me. First of all, goal accomplished before the end of the year, finishing one book in 20 days. And then second, felt so motivated and re-energized to do his parenting approach and style, which I have always loved, even before I had children. And then third is that I'm using these strategies. Am I perfectly? No. 100%? Absolutely no. However, using them whenever I remember, trying to be mindful of it, bring attention to these strategies. And I am already seeing such a wonderful and positive difference with how I feel about myself as a parent, how I'm interacting with my child, how my child is responding to me. And so I'm gonna take some time and do hopefully really short videos on each chapter. And there are, I believe, 5 to 6 chapters, and then there's some additional at the end. This will probably be the shortest because it is the shortest as far as the content is concerned. So chapter 1 is really about this discussion of what is your philosophy when it comes to parenting and discipline. And this phrase discipline gets used a lot. We have to discipline our children. However, what is the meaning of discipline? Now, if you boil down to it, and they actually have a wonderful, at the end, addendum of different things in regards to discipline. And I'll go through that list really, really very quickly. But it's this idea that when we discipline, we want to teach. We want to, that's it. We really want to just teach our children to choose better, to do better, so that they can be good human beings, so that they can be good Muslims, in the future when they are on their own. So they have here our discipline approach in a nutshell. And I'm just going to quickly give you the bold lines. So number 1, discipline is essential. Teaching is essential. Teaching is important. Effective discipline depends on a loving, respectful relationship between adult and child. Love and respect is so important. The goal of discipline is to teach. So this is where they're talking about, what's your philosophy? And then number 4, the first step in discipline is to pay attention to a kid's emotions. Now we're going to go into that a little bit into detail in the book or in each chapter. When children are upset or throwing a fit, that's when they need us the most, not the least. They need us the most at that time. Sometimes we need to wait until children are ready to learn. So learning doesn't happen all the time. We do have to be in a ready learning state. The way we help them to be ready is to learn to connect with them. Connection is so important. There's a whole chapter devoted to it. After connecting, we redirect, okay? So that's their principles. Now, in this first chapter, they also talk about, when you're thinking about your philosophy in parenting, do you have a long-term goal or short-term goal? So short-term goal, you might be able to give a stern look, or you might be able to implement certain strategies that will give you the short-term results that you want, but does it give you a long-term result? What's your long-term goal, and what's the result that you're wanting? One of the things they speak, which speaks to me and my values, and something that I really, just as a person, like and attached to, is this idea of we want to build whole-brained humans. We don't want to grow right-centric, left-centric, left-brained, right-brained, one part specialized people. We want whole-brain persons, because when the whole brain is working, that's when we are the wisest and working from our most optimal. And perhaps in another video, I could go into how examples of adults that never grew up, adults that don't know how to deal with their emotions, adults that have low emotional IQ, or adults that are very, very rigid. Again, no understanding of emotion. That's also not good. And then they go into asking 3 questions. When you want to discipline, look at these 3 questions. And what are those 3 questions? So the first question is asking yourself, why is my child doing this certain behavior? What's happening here? What's going on here? And for me, a lot of times, for example, with I have a small child, and a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old, but a lot of the struggles I had with my 7-year-old is because she lacks connection. She was the only child, golden child for 5 years, and then here comes a second one, and then now all the attention is going to the second golden child, right? And so, of course, what is she wanting? She's wanting connection. So some of the things that she's doing, she's wanting connection. So the why is really, really important. What do I want to teach them about their behavior? So when she's smacking, her brother, for example, or when she is doing whatever behavior that she's doing, what is it that I want to teach about this behavior? And what is the third question, what is the best way to teach the thing I want to teach? Is saying, be kind to your brother, don't hit. Is that the best way? Well, if it was, it would have already worked, but it wasn't, and it probably isn't going to. So what is the best way to teach something? And so that's what they're going to get into in the subsequent chapters, but this was the first chapter. I hope that was helpful for you. Give me a thumbs up if it was. Share it with other parents who will have moments of struggle. Parenting is not perfect. Leave a question and I'll try to answer it if you have. And thank you. Assalamu alaikum.